It's 5 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. All right, the next item on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from the February 2024 meeting.
Make the motion that we approve the minutes, February 20th.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Grant.
Aye.
Queen.
Aye.
Young.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
Upshaw.
I'll abstain because I was absent.
Dees.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for the consideration and a vote to approve a variance for reduced setbacks and the location of a detached accessory structure. Steve Schulte is the applicant. I hope I said that right. Sure.
Believe that's right.
And that's back further in your packet back there.
Yes, there was a little switch up, so that's behind the flat.
So give everybody a chance to get back to those. All right. I will take the motion to open the public hearing.
Make a motion to open the public hearing. I'll second.
I've got a motion and a second.
Grant.
Aye.
Queen.
Aye.
Calvin.
Aye.
Mauer.
Aye.
Upshaw.
Aye.
Dees.
Aye.
Right. So Stephen Schulte is the property owner of 608 South Hickory. He would like to build a 23 by 24 foot detached garage on his property. And has requested a variance from locations and setbacks of an accessory structure. Ordinance 3124 covers standards for accessory uses. It states that freestanding accessory structures shall not be located in front of the principal structure. It also states that single-family lots between 10,000 square feet and 1 acre shall have a setback of 10 feet from the rear and side property. And accessory structures exceeding 120 square feet shall be no closer than 10 feet to the principal. Due to the way the lot is shaped and laid out, the garage will not fit in the rear yard and meet the required setback. The desired location for this project is in front of the house. With the garage placed in this area, it would have setback of 7.56 feet from the side property line. And there's a typo in your package. It's 3.5 feet from the front property. Its closest point would be 5 feet from the front property line at this address is approximately 22 feet from the edge of the street, which would position the garage approximately 25.5 feet from the street. Property owner also plans on installing a hard surface driveway for access to this garage. Plot plan has been supplied for this variant, showing that the garage will fit in the desired area. And for variances, we look at section 21.250 of the LDO. This section establishes the procedures and conditions for variance in this ordinance and standard. This section permits, under limited circumstances, a building or structure that does not comply with this ordinance's standards, and strict enforcement would represent a unique, undue, and unnecessary hardship. To approve a variance, the Board of Zoning Appeals shall apply the following standards. Under no conditions shall a variance permit a use that is not otherwise permitted in the district. The applicant shall be instructed to submit a zoning change request in 21.210 or a beneficial use appeal, Division 21, which is the only way such a change of use may occur. Special circumstances or conditions exist peculiar to the land or building for which the variance is sought, that do not apply generally to lot, land, or buildings in the neighborhood. The special circumstances and conditions have not resulted from any act of the applicant subsequent to this ordinance's adoption. Special circumstances and conditions are such that strict application of this ordinance's provisions would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of land or building. Granting the variance is necessary to relieve the applicant of an unnecessary hardship imposed by the regulations. The variance is granted in the minimum necessary to relieve the unnecessary hardship and permit the reasonable use of the land. Granting the variance will not be injurious to the neighborhood surrounding the land where the variance is proposed and is otherwise not detrimental to public welfare. Granting the variance is in harmony with this ordinance's purposes, and intent. Granting the variance is not inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. Lastly, the LDO reviews the options of adding conditions and restrictions that may be imposed. Section 21.252 covers conditions and restrictions on variations, and approving the application for any variance. The Board of Zoning Appeals may impose additional restrictions and conditions on such approval. Restriction and conditions may be limits on the use of property, the standards for locating the use, standards for mitigating the impact on the adjoining property owners who would lose protection as a result of permitting the variance, or standards to protect the general health, safety, and welfare. All conditions imposed upon any variance shall be expressly set forth in writing with the granting of such a variance. And for the findings of this, the application will not be detrimental to health, safety, or general welfare of the community. And this application is consistent with section 21.250 of the LDO.
Thank you, Mitch. Anybody from the public would like to make comments or against this? Did we receive any written comments?
We didn't receive any written. I believe we got 3 phone calls from neighboring properties. All of them were just kind of curious as to what was going on. None of them had any opposition to it.
Okay. In that case, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'd like a motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second.
Graham?
Aye.
McQueen?
Aye.
Calvin?
Aye.
Mauer? Upshaw?
Aye.
Dees?
All right. Questions, comments?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Curiosity more than anything. It appears there's a driveway coming off of Hickory, going to the house next to it, like it's going through the lot.
Yeah, I would imagine, I'm not for sure, but I would imagine the same person how many years ago on both those. And split it off. I think the beacon printout that I have here, their lines are sometimes a little skewed, just depends on where they drew. But I believe.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that other property is corner, kind of meets up with that corner there.
Under the section on variances, it says to approve a variance, the Board of Zoning Appeals shall apply the following standards. It says either a zoning change request or a beneficial use appeal. Are we doing any of that? Or is that just part of the verbiage?
Yeah.
It's just part-
Yeah, no, because that's for a use, so if a particular use, like warehousing,
Okay,
isn't allowed in a
Okay.
specific district, that's when we do that.
That the closest point would be 5-foot house. I was somehow under the impression it's supposed to be 10 foot, one structure, open space between one structure and another.
Yes, and that's part of what he's seeking the variance for is the setbacks from property line, setback off of the house, and the position of it. So for it to fit in, that was, at its closest point, was gonna be 5 foot from one section and the second.
Seems like we've had deals before that, somebody's building that close, they had to have, one of them had to have fire retardant material. In other words, it was that close to another structure.
That, yeah, that would be building code related.
Yeah, so that would go through, when we do the, if this goes through, we do the plan review, when he applies for the permit, that would go. Kind of like an attached garage, we'll have fire rocket.
Right.
That'll get due to that.
This is kind of a unique piece of property down there. That's basically a dead end street because it opens, when they open the gates for the fairground, it opens into the fairgrounds property. The house behind them, it's tight down there. I went down there and drove down there and saw that nice house behind their house. I mean, I don't know if that's a street, an alley or what it is, but it's tight down in there. There's no place to build that garage other than where they want to put that garage down there. And it's kind of a unique neighborhood because at one end, you've got a long house that's like a double wide, probably not, but it looks like a double wide. Then you got little houses in there and that bigger house, and then this property. So I think this is kind of a unique circumstance down there at that end of town. I think,
I agree, because we went through something similar not too long ago.
yeah, I think it's. So based on that, I'm gonna make the motion to approve this variance.
I do have a quick question before we do that. So on the way the LDO reads on 120 square foot. So by 23 by 24, that's gonna put it at 552. How does this fall in line with the last one we did? Down on the southwest corner of town? They wanted more,
Yeah, so this one will still fit within the maximum sizes for his property for 14,000 square feet. Anything over 10,000 square feet, I believe he can have up to 900 square feet. What they were laying down there was exceeding the 900
and then
square feet.
exceeding the 900 was based off of square footage of the house.
They were exceeding the main square footage of their home.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify all that.
Yes, I think the structure they wanted to build was actually gonna be almost as big as a house.
It was.
Yeah. And the only question I had was there's no utility issues with that close of a setback right there.
No, most of the utility stuff is right up next to the street. There's another uniqueness about this is their right of way is so big compared to a lot of other houses.
Okay.
And the other only issue or question I had was setting any future precedent on anybody else down the road.
I think this is unique in that property that we're gonna run into this from time to time on properties. Because particularly in the older parts of town, we have odd shaped lots, small lots.
Right.
And I think it's fair to look at each one on its own basis and not try to apply.
Right, I completely agree. I'm just trying to,
And we've done some exceptions before. We did one for Pete Bell down in the north part of town, on the end of
Yeah.
almost a dead end street down there.
Yeah.
Because his property was a little unique also.
Yeah.
So,
because the only real issue I have is the precedent that could have been set on that last one. Because yes, the building was gonna be bigger than the house, but they also had 7.5 acres to deal with. And and by setting per situation is different. You know, the whole back of their property was in flood ground. So nothing could ever be built visual back there. And it was also gonna be built across the alley from a 23-foot tall warehouse.
Yeah.
So yes, I completely agree that every situation is different, but I feel that other situation was the outcome was based off of future precedent. So it seemed to be the issue at that situation, so I'm worried about it being an issue at this situation as well.
So noted.
I realize it's only during Fair Week that this might be an issue, but what about, you know, ability for other vehicles to see, like livestock trailers, all that going through there? Is there going to be an issue?
There shouldn't be, just because he'll still be so far off the road. And it's actually, I believe, it's a public parking right there. So this would actually help alleviate some cars that he would have parked down the street otherwise, give him some parking off the street.
It's garages and the side of the house.
There is a garage on the street, but.
And then it's really weird.
Yeah.
The 5 acres.
And I assume it'll probably be concrete or hard paved surface in front of it to the
Mhm.
street.
Yeah, it's a hard.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
No.
Okay, now I will make the
Okay,
motion.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure maybe got it going a little fast there, so I want to give everybody a chance to ask their questions and speak their minds. All right, with that, I will make a motion to approve this variance.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Agree?
No.
Complete?
No,
Calvin?
Yes,
Mauer?
Yes,
Upshaw?
Yes.
Steve?
no,
those have it. All right, ready for the next item?
Do we want to explain how the process works?
There, the applicant's here.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Okay.
They asked through the applicant.
No, we just neighbors right with a big house.
You're big.
Big house. I'm just curious to know how tall the property is gonna build, 8 foot, 10 foot?
I believe just 10-foot sidewall, standard sidewall. Not a.
They ain't a very big garage anyway, they don't build them big enough.
This doesn't affect our property, because he's never been his property, line property stuff.
Yeah, he would have been. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay, he's done a wonderful job fixing that house, so I can't complain.
All right, so we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. It is consideration, you can go ahead and leave if you like.
Thank you.
All right, there'll be a consideration and vote to recommend approval of the Burr Oaks Estates number 3 preliminary plat. Nick Hart is the applicant.
All right, so this is a preliminary plat for the Borough of Estate number 3, a 6-lot, multi-family, single-family, conditional development located in lot 2 of the Borough Oak Estates number 2 subdivision. This property is zoned suburban, and single-family conventional housing is permitted. The plats and plans have been reviewed by Public Works Director Kirk Breeze, Rural Water 2, Wilson and Company, civil engineers, and staff with minimal comment. For analysis, we have lot standards. Minimum lot size for single-family conventional use in suburban zoning district is 12,000 square feet, and the minimum lot width is 90 feet. All proposed lots in the preliminary plan meet these requirements. For open space and density, the open space required is 10%. This plat meets those requirements using the drainage way to the south of the development and the 50-foot fill lines on the front and back. The max gross density allowed for this use and development is 1.98, and the density in this plat is 1.25. For streets and sidewalks, lots will have access via a short residential street and cul-de-sac off of Lake Mila Drive. Public Works Director Kirk Reeves reviewed the street plans and did not have any comments or changes that needed to be made. A 50-foot is shown for the street in this development, and it meets the standards of Article 11 in the LDA. For drainage and utilities, drainage for this site will be via engineered channels that will flow into the drainage way to the south of this. Water will be supplied from rural water number 2 and will tie into an existing line that runs along Lake Mila Drive. Water claims were sent to rural water 2 for review and their comments from them. Sanitary sewer currently runs along Lake Mila Drive. The developer will extend this main along the north side of the proposed street to service the northern. 3 southern lots will tie into an existing main that runs along the southern line of the development. Public Works Director Kirk Reeves reviewed the sewer plans and did not see any problem. For landscaping will be phased in as lots are purchased. Landscaping will be the responsibility of the purchaser and will comply with the City of Paola Land Development Ordinance. Compliance with these regulations will be verified as part of the inspection for new building permit. For approval standards, Planning Commission shall approve the preliminary plat if it finds the following criteria are set. The preliminary plat conforms to the requirements of the Paola Land Development Ordinance, subject only to acceptable rule of exception. The plat contains a sound, well-conceived parcel and land subdivision layout, which is consistent with good land planning and site engineering design. The spacing and design of proposed curb cuts and intersection locations is consistent with good traffic engineering, design, and public safety considerations. All submission requirements have been set. For findings, staff has found the application is consistent with Article 10 of the LDO and will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or general welfare of the community. Staff's recommendation is the recommended approval of the Borough State's number 3 preliminary plat with condition that it meets all engineer and staff review comments and requirements.
Questions, comments?
I have a question. Will the lots that, in the size that these are, will those, continue to remain the minimum square footage of the homes? In the existing fees and restrictions of the community?
So- Yeah, that doesn't have any bearing on the plat. So the fees and restrictions as they're sold off, there will be. We haven't quite got. As of the preliminary, we haven't quite gotten any more information regarding what the plans. It's the same developer, so I could see it just continue on with what's existing. But his contact information is included. Question that we need to reach out for.
Does the sewer system, does it run all the way down and then go behind the Mile Lake Dam? Or does this go around and come around on the west side of the lake?
I believe it goes around the Lake Dam and goes all the way along Lake Mile to the Lakeview housing and then up.
Somewhere along the line, I thought there was a rumor that somehow or another the sewer line got put underneath the north end of the lake and then went around the west side of the lake.
Can't speak to rumors.
I mean, I've heard that.
Just went up to 68 and then just went up on 68, I thought.
No,
Didn't,
Now I know, you go there, living there.
To get with Mitch in the office, he can pull up the GIS. and-
Yeah, you can see where it's.
Currently, they checked that out, that there's enough capacity
Mhm.
for the system to work 6 more.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Somebody like to make a motion?
I will make a motion. I'll make a motion to recommend the approval of the Baroque Estates number 3 preliminary plat with the condition that it meets all engineer and staff review comments and requirements.
Second, then.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll put it to a vote.
Grant,
Aye.
McLean,
Aye.
Calvin,
Aye.
Mauer,
Aye.
Upshaw,
Aye.
Dees.
Motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda is Community and Economic Development Director Report.
Year-to-date permits, we're at 140, I had 141 on here, but I think now 243. Still looking for new home permits. We've only had 1 or 2 this year, so got several developers buying lots with plans to build. Hoping they follow through with that. Table Forge Learning Center is moving along. I believe Inspector Kinsey has been over there several times. Cool. Lake Mary offices, kind of in the middle of their rough-in stage. We talked that they have passed their final inspection on the dorm room, so that now they're kind of remodeling the old dorms into offices. And we are currently doing interviews for new building inspector and admin assistant. So we spoke to it last time, not, Jody is retiring. So, working on finding new building inspector and, admin assistant there. Next month, oh, and also I believe last month, we had a new business consultation for Amanda Lee Crafts at 123 West Peoria. Went really good. She's getting all started and opened up.
Crochet.
Crocheting mainly.
Coach, another retirement money.
She's got it all set up and she does classes.
That's my wife.
That's 1.3 West Peoria.
It's in the, right across from the eatery in the old.
Yeah, across the street over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
kind of where the juice
The
bar.
ju- I think that's
was.
the old
Yep.
juice.
Seems like it's good that something going in some of these buildings.
Mhm. For next month's planning commission, we'll have, as long as it passes council, we'll have a final site plan for borough. And AES Ponds has expressed interest in platting out a piece of property that they own up at Industrial Park Drive and Hospital on the corner there. 7 acres, 6 acres, looking to do some housing, and he's wanting to move his business down here.
And who is that?
It's AEC Ponds, what it stands for. But he services and puts in fountains and stuff on
Stuff like
big ponds. So,
Yeah. Okay.
For March and April's council, the tiny home CUP passed council. And, we got some new mural regulations passed. We got some writing on that. but nothing.
But there is one, applying for a mural grant and we're waiting to hear back. But the artist that was chosen to do the mural on the side of, mural, regardless if the grant is received or not, the bid for that is a number that will be able to be covered by the tourism board. So regardless, the mural.
Cool. Yeah, good.
And then, Randy has been busy with grants, grant writing for the dam. Kirk helped, try and get some money for that, and she's trying to get a few more grants in, so things are looking good, but.
Good.
And I also just wanted to announce that Vicky is retiring after 15 years with the city.
Yes.
So we are hosting a retirement party on June 12th at the Country Club.
Okay.
4 to 6 p.m. If anyone has interest in coming, we can email out. Other than that, last month was just mainly about new personnel manual updates. Before she left, she had big visions of getting part-time employees who have been there for a number of years, vacation hours. So that's a big budget. So she saw that for.
The Farm Bureau building sell,
I'm unsure whether it's closed or not, so I know
it's
there's,
just curious, all the stuff parked around it
yeah,
lately. And then there's a fire pit not very far back of the back door. Whether it's
yeah.
kind of a curiosity deal there,
Not sure.
but there,
Oh, interesting.
somebody's moved a lot of, look like lawn care
Yeah.
stuff. Too. I didn't know whether it's sold business wise, commercial.
Yeah.
And is there any comments or anything on the VA
As far
building?
as anything specific?
Just driving by, down in there so low to the ground, and it looked like the water come around that pond, it just about went over their new concrete. Okay, they've got a problem, but I don't understand why it's so low. That it ought to be on the same level as the coffee deal, but it isn't.
Yeah, that seemed long.
Yeah, I don't think, I haven't heard anything from the builder on it.
There's the spillway that comes out of the pond. And then I saw that they had two, large drain pipes, the black plastic that they were putting horizontal, behind there, but I thought still it's a lot of water coming.
Yeah,
It's practically smack the back of that building.
well, it looks like if the pond on Queensland, something happened to it, that water retention pond would collapse and it would flood that building.
I was told by somebody that outlet on that pond
Mhm.
is gonna be moved,
Oh, really?
yeah, to the east, to
Interesting.
line up.
Hopefully the developer forwards that information.
That was the dirt guy that told me, the dirt guy that was doing the work
They
there
work out there.
told him that they're gonna have to move that pipe, because he went over and was asking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Hopefully we get
He was told that they were gonna have to move that pipe down a little further to the east, so I don't know.
That's good. It looks like it needs to be.
I had a lot of veterans asking me
Really?
through the Legion down there. Something's just not quite right there.
That's the water therapy end.
That's what I was told. I wasn't there when the discussion took place, but
Yeah. Hopefully it gets forwarded through us to
yeah.
re-review it. That's good.
Yeah.
So I got one other comment that I've been kind of told not to get into, but it's been 4 or 5 months. Down there by the Legion, the donut shop, all that area, South Yard.
Mhm.
Why
Anything,
don't we adjourn and then you can.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good more
Conversation?
Let me do that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
I
Okay, now.